Hello again, it's Miss Seyfert. Hope you guys are all doing well. I have a little study buddy with me today. Say hi, Ben. Hi. So if you hear some babbling in the background, please excuse it, but taking advantage of Annabeth's nap time, otherwise this would not be able to happen. Okay, last time we did one-step equations with addition. Today we're going to do one-step equations with subtraction, or negatives, as I like to say. Remember the rules of equations. Both sides have to be balanced because they are connected by that equal sign. So we're going to try to do the same thing to both sides. Today we're talking about subtraction or adding a negative. I'm going to actually represent my subtraction with negative numbers and think about adding a negative because that makes it easier for me. And it also makes it so we only have to remember one rule, which is do the same thing to both sides. Okay. So we're going to start by representing our expression on the left side, which is x minus 3. Again, you can use any object that you have at home that you have multiples of. So I'm using my daughter's hair clips. You can use chess pawns. You can use checkers. You can use goldfish or Hershey Kisses or anything else you want to eat later. Doesn't matter as long as you know that those represent the unknown variable. Okay. I've put minus signs on the tail side of my coins because I thought it would be hard for you to tell whether they are heads or tails, but if I Sharpie a negative sign on it, it's a lot easier for you to see in the video. Okay, x and negative 3. Yes, x minus 3 can be represented as x and a negative 3, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And on the right side of my expression, I just have negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could have used my nickel, but I knew that I was going to have to do something and break it apart, so I just thought ahead there. Okay, what would that look like if you were drawing a diagram to represent it? Well, just draw your pawn, and instead of doing numbers today, I'm going to do dots because that's going to make it easier to find zero pairs. So I have negative 3. I'm going to represent negatives in red. It's actually pink. And negative 5 over here. That's going to kind of mimic what you do with algebra tiles in school and also in the real world, finances. If you're in the red, you're in debt, negative numbers. Okay, I'm going to represent positive numbers with green. What positive numbers, Miss Hayford? Well, I don't have any yet, but I know my rule is I can do the same thing to both sides. So there are two ways I can solve this. And I'm actually going to set up another balance here so I can show you both ways. And depending how your brain works, you might do one, you might do the other. They're both going to give you the same right answer. Okay, the first way I can do it is I can do the same thing to both sides. I see 1, 2, 3 negatives on the left, 1, 2, 3 negatives on the right. Boom, done. Okay. I subtracted negative 3 or took away negative 3 from each side. Okay, that gets kind of dicey to write in the algorithm, but it is easy to represent in our representational model. 1, 2, 3 on the left, 1, 2, 3. What you'll notice is all you're left with on the left is one pawn, and all you're left with on the right is negative 2. Okay, so that's one way to solve it. What would that look like in the algorithm? Well, we literally subtracted a negative 3, and we subtracted negative 3 on that side too. The tricky part is, what that really means is that we added 3. Subtracting a negative, it's the opposite of negative 3, which is a positive 3, and that's where it gets a little tricky, because then you need to know that's going to zero out. And since we have opposite signs, we're going to subtract their absolute values. 5 minus 3 is 2. And then take the sign of the 1 further from 0, which is negative. Okay? Well, what's the other way we can do it? We can actually add 3. So if we think about x and negative 3, well, the opposite of negative 3 is a positive 3. So if I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other side so I don't go to math jail. I'm going to set my original equation back up so that it looks like that. And what would it look like to add 3? Well, I would put 1, 2, 3 positives, 1, 2, 3 positives, okay? Why did I just make that more complicated? Because I've just made 0 pairs. What's a zero pair? It's when you have a positive and a negative together. If I have a penny and then I owe you a penny, I end up with no money, okay? So I have 1, 2, 3 zero pairs. They can all disappear because they have no value. Zero has no value. Over here, a zero pair can disappear, another one and another one. And I'm left with -2. So what would that look like here? I can just get rid of my zero pairs. I can get rid of these zero pairs. And I still see that I'm left with 1x on the left side, which is equal to -2 on the right. And this algorithm is the one that makes more sense to most people because it uses the inverse operation. The opposite of subtracting 3 is adding 3. Again, you're doing the same thing to both sides. So that makes a zero pair, get rid of it. We're left with x is equal to -2, because that's what we got when we did our subtraction. Okay? All right, so I've put a couple practice problems here for you. So take a look at them. You can set them up on your balance yourself and try them out. Pause the video because I'm going to reveal the answer in 5 seconds. Okay, x minus 4 equals -1. Well, I can think about that as x and a -4 is equal to -1. So if I added 4 to both sides, I would end up with x is equal to a +3. For f, x minus 2 is equal to 7. Again, I'm seeing -2. The inverse of that is adding 2, or the opposite of -2 is +2. So if I add a +2 to both sides, then the answer is, drumroll, x is equal to 9.